catches us with 7 seconds to go. It was close. We'll see you next time on The Chase. Goodbye.
This is 7 News with Amanda Abate.
Our top stories on 7. The news we've been waiting for. Queensland's 3-step plan to lift coronavirus lockdowns when cafes, restaurants, shops, libraries and boot camps can reopen. Myer opens its doors to happy shoppers, plus a Mother's Day sales boost for struggling retailers. The state government looks to launch an inquiry into a workplace explosion which injured 5 miners. And the 3 Queensland NRL players stood down for refusing the flu shot. The Prime Minister and Premiers have agreed on a 3-stage thawing of Australia's coronavirus shutdown, progressively opening much of our economy by mid-year. National Cabinet met this morning and backed the plan, even though leaders acknowledge it involves risk. Political reporter Tim Lester has the details.
Australia's great reopening will be tailored state by state. Already this afternoon, Queensland, South Australia and Tasmania have responded to a national announcement on plans. Western Australia plans an announcement tomorrow, but all states now have a national plan to follow.
In this plan, we walk before we run.
Stage 1, gentle steps in May. The limit on guests in the home rises to 5, elsewhere groups up to 10. That's the limit for property auctions, cafes and the like. Food courts still closed, though shopping centres open if they have a COVID-safe plan. School and childcare return in May.
I'm looking forward to seeing children back in classrooms learning.
Stage 2 picks up the pace in June. Non-work gatherings up to 20 people. Likely still not enough for pubs and clubs, so many stay closed. Recreational travel interstate begins. Caravan parks and camping reopen.
We don't want to lose the control we've got. We want to make sure that outbreaks that occur are managed and controlled.
There will be outbreaks, there will be more cases, there will be setbacks.
Stage 3 has the economy running in July. 100 people allowed to gather. Businesses that rely on crowds can open but must record patrons' contacts. Interstate travel is allowed, though most overseas travel likely still locked indefinitely. Here, the PM cites Treasury advice that 850,000 Australians now relying on government payments will no longer need them.
People have been stood down, going back into their full employment.
Through March and April, this crisis was all about health. Now National Cabinet has put waking the comatose economy front and centre.
Let's go straight to reporter Joel Dry now. Joel, you have some more specific details about Queensland's road out of coronavirus lockdowns.
Good afternoon, Amanda. I do. Shortly after that Prime Minister's press conference, the Premier stood up and gave us the exact dates for those 3 stages, and the dates to keep an eye out for are May 15, June 12 and the 10th of July. The first stage, May 15, allows 5 visitors into your home, and they can be from separate households. Outside, as Tim said, 10 people from separate homes can gather. That includes the all-important boot camps, and other public spaces reopen. Playgrounds, pools and outdoor gyms. Also, weddings and religious gatherings can increase to 10 people. Funerals a little bit different. Inside funerals, you can have 20 people and 30 people in outdoor funerals. Cafes and restaurants are also included. For dine-in only, 10 people at a time. That's stage 1. Stage 2 kicks in on June 12. Gatherings indoors, in homes, they increase to 20 people. And gyms come into play. Museums and art galleries, they all reopen again for just 20 people. Community sport is back on the agenda, and the dining in elements of cafes and restaurants, that also increases to 20 people, and the recreational travel can restart also. That includes overnight accommodation just in time for school holidays. It means you can travel within 250 kilometres of your home for a holiday here in Queensland. The Premier says we can do all this because we are heading in the right direction.
This is going to be gradual, it's going to take time, and we can't rush this. We can't do everything all at once, but I want to reassure you that I am listening to my Chief Health Officer. I am taking the very best health advice.
Stage 3 kicks in on the 10th of July. That's the big one. Pubs, they reopen in all of their glory in about 9 weeks' time, and that interstate travel also starts again. It's all dependent on how we go, so our destiny, Amanda, is in our own hands.
OK, thanks very much for the update, Joel. To breaking news now, and 3 Queensland Rugby League players have been stood down from the NRL for refusing a flu shot. Here's Peter Fegan.
Well, in a huge development this afternoon, the Queensland Government has confirmed that 3 NRL players have been stood down for refusing a flu jab. Those 3 players are Bryce Cartwright, Brian Kelly and Nathan Peets. However, the NRL are confident that the Queensland Government will relax its laws and those 3 players will be allowed to train and play again shortly. But for now, it has been confirmed that they are stood down. Project Apollo, the NRL's team of experts, has been meeting here at NRL headquarters in Sydney today. The most pressing issue being discussed is the flu vaccination. Some 20 players have refused to receive the jab, some on religious ground, but others, such as Gold Coast Titans' Bryce Cartwright and Manly's Dylan Walker, believe players should be given a choice on whether they receive the jab or not. Off the back of these comments, the ARL Commission Chairman Peter V'landys made it very clear if a player does not accept the flu jab, then they must sign a waiver before being allowed to play. And pressure is mounting. The Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, leads a chorus line of voices calling on the NRL to adopt a no jab, no play policy.
I agree with the Prime Minister. The health advice is that they should have a flu injection.
It comes back to that safety issue, and if they think it is a really important point, I would support the NRL.
We are now waiting for Peter V'landys or another member of Project Apollo to address the media this afternoon to give greater clarity on the topic.
5 miners remain in the Special Burns Unit of the Royal Brisbane and Women's Hospital after a gas explosion in a central Queensland mine. It comes as the state government looks to launch an inquiry into the workplace accident. Tristan Boreas reports.
Well, in some good news today, the condition of one of the 5 miners here at the RBWH has improved from serious to good, but the others remain in a critical condition. The men in their 40s and 50s were airlifted to Brisbane after an explosion at the Anglo-American's Grosvenor coal mine in Moranbah on Wednesday. It's believed a gas leak may have been the source.
The mine's been stopped. The entries to the mine have been blocked off from a directive issued by the Mines Department.
Online, friends and colleagues of the 5 men have set up a GoFundMe page to help with their recovery. So far, more than $75,000 has been raised, with messages of love and support also being shared. As the men fight for their lives, the state government is looking for answers, announcing a potential board of inquiry into the workplace accident.
A board of inquiry is independent, it's expert, it's not a bunch of politicians like a parliamentary inquiry.
In the news tonight at 6, we'll have the latest details on this potential inquiry. We'll also update you on the miners' conditions.
Police have seized a Mercedes-Benz in Victoria owned by murdered Melbourne mother Ellie Price. There's still been no sign of her partner, Ricardo Barbaro, who police want to question over the killing. He's a member of one of the country's most notorious crime families and the brother of accused Gold Coast bikie Harley Barbaro. Myer has reopened its doors at 5 Queensland locations after closing due to coronavirus. Dozens of other retailers are also welcoming customers again, hoping for a Mother's Day sales boost. Georgie Chumley has more.
If foot traffic is anything to go by, it would appear retail is back in vogue.
The shops are open and yes, we'll have a look around.
It makes it feel like the city's alive again. Major shopping centres across the southeast are bustling. Myer, the largest retailer to reopen its doors today at 5 locations across Queensland. Dozens more have opened in the past 48 hours. Many shoppers hoping to bag a bargain or a present for mum.
Mother's Day gifts.
Yeah, it's a really good sales.
The increase in sales won't compensate for a more than $1 billion slump, but it has buoyed hopes of boutiques like the Happy Cabin in West End reopening this week.
People really wanted to make sure that the store was going to be here after the pandemic and, want to support us and keep us going, which is so lovely.
And the change in weather is helping.
People definitely keen for jumpers, cardigans, jackets, all the layers.
What's open and where we'll tell you tonight on 7 News at 6.
For our prep students and seniors, learning at home ends today. From Monday, it's back to school, but strict guidelines will be in place. Isabel Mullen reports.
On Monday, the school drop-off and pick-up will look entirely different for parents, with strict social distancing measures enforced at schools across Queensland. At Petrie Terrace State School, parents have been asked to stay inside their cars for drop-off and pick-up and only enter the school if they have permission.
We've asked them to contact the school and so we can have those communications already in place.
At Brisbane Boys College, when school returns on Monday, dorms will be at 50% capacity, with rooms marked with an X.
You have to wash your hands. You have to make sure that you look after each other.
The dining hall can hold up to 160 people, but next week there will be 2 sittings of 25 students at a time. A wash station and hand sanitizer are new necessities, with cleaners scheduled to wipe down touch points multiple times a day.
Health check, temperature check, wiping down phones.
But it could be a tricky time for seniors. The headmaster is concerned some boarders will be stuck at the state border, with conflicting messages from government officials over whether they'll have to self-quarantine.
We'd love to have some clarity from the government about what we can do and what the requirements are.
Students won't have to socially distance in the classroom, and at this stage, all other year levels will return to schools on May 25.
Let's check on today's weather now. Here's Bertie.
Hey, thanks for that, Amanda. Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic Friday afternoon. This is Surfers Paradise Beach, if I must say so myself, looking absolutely gorgeous. Not a lot of people down here. A lot of people still social distancing today. Very similar for people out there early this morning. I did see a few surfers, but we had offshore winds, which meant that all the open beaches, the breaks there fired up. So not a lot of congestion out there, which is great to see. We have to adhere to that. Hey, have a look at this satellite pic, because this is why we're getting this great run of weather. Let's get into the important stuff now, because we are talking a high centering itself right above southeast Queensland, lowering the winds, bringing mirror-like conditions to Moreton Bay today. Absolutely stunning. Tomorrow we'll see a bit more northerly coming off it as it slips into the northern Tasman, southern Coral Sea. We might even see a little bit of a change coming through. But have a look at the temps today. We got up to 24 the high, Sunshine Coast, 25 Beerburrum and Redlands, also Coolangatta, had 26 here on the Gold Coast, Logan, in the city, 27 the warmest today, and that was felt at Gatton and, of course, Ipswich. And Amanda, great conditions. I'll have more weather for you shortly.
See you soon. Thanks, Bertie. He's the Porsche driver involved in a crash which killed 4 police officers. Up next, his plan to mount a bid for freedom. Plus, why there are fears for the future of Brisbane nightclubs, and why you may need to rush in order to spoil Mum this Mother's Day.
On 7 News, the biggest announcement yet for the road out of COVID, the PM's plan for the weeks ahead. What it means for work, pubs, clubs, restaurants, local sport and live music. Big retailers and even dog parks reopening. And the rush for Mother's Day flowers and gifts, why you need to get in quick. 7 News at 6.
The most unique Mother's Day we've ever experienced needs a fresh new way to celebrate. From a new type of rose for Mum, the meals that'll make her mouth water, to new mums with the cutest fur babies you'll ever meet. The best Mother's Day ideas are on New Better Homes, tonight on 7.
The Ladbrokes Bonus Back Blitz keeps rolling. This Friday night in all races at all 5 Australian harness racing night meetings, get bonus back if your runner finishes 2nd or 3rd. Ladbrokes, back yourself.
Alright Australia, so you need more energy and a better night's sleep. Meet the revolutionary Sleeping Duck mattress taking Australia by storm. It's the next generation mattress reimagined by aerospace engineers to give you the best energy, health and sleep benefits possible, even making history by becoming the first mattress ever to win Choice's Best Overall Mattress 2 years in a row. It comes manufacturer direct, free of markup. And that means you can get incredible quality with incredible value. That's Sleeping Duck, one giant leap for your sleep.
Is your home bursting at the seams? Time to call Storage King. With stalls everywhere, there's a location just around the corner. Temporary or permanent solutions with no lock-in contracts and contactless move-ins. Call now and let Storage King give you back some space.
This Saturday with Sportsbet, get the best payout across all 3 tabs with top-toed exotics. Nail a Quinella, trifecta or even a quaddie and you'll get the biggest return. Top-toed exotics from Sportsbet.
Wow your mum with 25% off everything for mum this Mother's Day. Like selected fashion knits now only $15. Only at Feston Less.
As credit to you, here's up to $120 credit from us. Add any selected month-to-month mobile plan with Vodafone and get the credit you deserve over 12 months. Find out more at vodafone.com.au. Ready?
You can open it now. Happy Mother's Day!
Oh, thanks, love. Look what Amy got me.
Be Mum's instant favourite with instant scratchets.
Have you two muted?
Now's the perfect time to buy a Titan because the price of steel is about to go up and the boss has over 400 tonne of steel to clear at today's prices. But when it's gone, so get in quick. Buy this month and you also get free colour roof and walls with all buildings, plus this unreal stainless steel workbench. Don't miss out. Beat the price rise and save. And remember, Titan are the manufacturer.
Call 13 27 36 for the Titan Display Centre near you.
You'll be lucky you got a Titan.
Beat the cold at Harvey Norman with the best in heating and air treatment solutions. Stay warm this winter with our range of ceramic, radiant and fan heaters, convection, column and panel heaters, the latest in gas and electric flame effect models, heated throws and electric blankets, plus a huge range of reverse cycle air conditioners. Treat the air quality in your home with everything from air purifiers to humidifiers. Harvey Norman has all the big brands at great prices. Visit us in store or online. Harvey Norman, your heating and air treatment specialist.
The Ladbrokes Bonus Back Blitz continues with thoroughbred racing. This Saturday in all races at Caulfield and Randwick, get bonus back if your horse finishes second or third. Ladbrokes, back yourself.
The Porsche driver involved in the Melbourne crash that killed 4 police officers is trying to get out of jail. On Monday, Richard Pusey will launch his freedom bid after reportedly documenting how he's being treated behind bars. His wife is remaining tight-lipped on her husband's attempt to get bail.
Does Richard deserve bail? Does Richard deserve bail? Have you spoken to him lately?
Mr Pusey is charged with multiple offences relating to failing to assist at the scene of a crash and speeding. They could reopen next month, but for many bars, pubs and nightclubs, it may not be financially viable. As for live music, 2 of Brisbane's most popular venues admit the wait will be much longer. Mac Lyon has more.
It's been 7 weeks since the heart of Brisbane's nightlife stopped beating, and venue owners here are well aware the nightmare is far from over.
Minor restrictions being put in place where, limited people can enter a bar is probably not going to be viable.
At Finn McCool's, they're planning and preparing for life in a socially distanced pub. With 400 square metres to work with, size is on their side.
We've got loads of different areas, so we are able to spread out.
But for smaller bars and nightclubs, even if they're allowed to open, it may not be worth it.
Virtually impossible for those sort of people to trade. They need to have bigger spaces.
A challenge live music venues will struggle to overcome too. The Tivoli has a 1,500 person capacity, but with only 100 allowed in from July 10.
We're going to be the last thing that reopens. Music is a place of coming together. Our core business is about bringing people together in real time and real space.
With so many factors at play, only time will tell how many of these bars, clubs and music venues will survive and when we'll see Brunswick Street Mall bustling again.
The rush to get flowers or a gift for Mother's Day started early, with some retailers swamped. It's been a welcome spending boost. Laura Dimmick has more.
There's been a steady stream of people coming through Brisbane's flower markets today. A bouquet or fresh plant is proving a popular choice for mum. Mother's Day is typically the busiest day of the year for these florists, and this week they have been run off their feet, and they're certainly not complaining.
I've got to be honest, it's really frantic.
1 o'clock start this morning and it has not stopped. People want to get out and they want to see their mum.
Many customers are saying they want to spoil their mums after being separated from them during lockdown.
It's been a rather
horrid month or so, and I think everybody needs a little bit of cheering up.
I'm going to go down and visit them. Obviously, the restrictions are easing.
Of course, there are other ways to spoil mum, and local businesses are hopeful of a spending boost from this special event.
I support like a lot of local artisans and a lot of local makers and a lot of local families. So my products come from people that are making them in Brisbane. So Stanthorpe, the Granite Belt, Thornlands, all of these areas.
But if you do want to give a gift of flowers this Mother's Day, you will need to be quick. Details on why supplies are low coming up in the news at 6.
A rare television interview from the Duchess of Cambridge. After the break, how Kate feels about life in isolation. Plus, Donald Trump caught in the middle of a White House coronavirus scare, and the seniors dancing up a storm during isolation.
This crisis has turned our world upside down.
7 News can reveal the ban on group gatherings could be eased.
We need a place to turn to for answers.
We have positive news about the race to find a vaccine.
Dr. Jeanette Young granted 7 News exclusive access
to get the facts.
A gift for all Queenslanders for Mother's Day.
What you need to know right now.
Sadly, some numbers in this crisis are trending the wrong way.
6 o'clock every night. Turn to 7 News.
The racing is back.
A length and a half in front. He thrashes it, takes the lead.
See it all Saturday, live and free on 7.
This Saturday with Sportsbet, get the best payout across all 3 tabs with top-toed exotics. Nail a Quinella, trifecta or even the quaddie and you'll get the biggest return. Top-toed exotics from Sportsbet.
Alright Australia, so you need more energy and a better night's sleep. Meet the revolutionary Sleeping Duck mattress taking Australia by storm. It's the next generation mattress reimagined by aerospace engineers to give you the best energy, health and sleep benefits possible. Even making history by becoming the first mattress ever to win Choice's Best Overall Mattress 2 years in a row. It comes manufacturer direct, free of markup. And that means you can get incredible quality with incredible value. That's Sleeping Duck, one giant leap for your sleep.
You don't give in, you don't give up. It's called Aussie Spirit, and it takes spirit to get through times like these. It's what inspires us to help. Together we'll get through this. Search Toyota, here to help.
This Saturday with Sportsbet at 3 tracks for races 1 to 6. Finish 2nd or 3rd and get up to $50 back in bonus bets.
BSI! So be as responsibly with Sportsbet. We'll be watching.
As credit to you, here's up to $120 credit from us. Add any selected month-to-month mobile plan with Vodafone and get the credit you deserve over 12 months. Find out more at vodafone.com.au. Ready?
Eggs. They're bursting with protein, vitamins and omega-3s. Ideal for healthy Aussies every day. So, get cracking, Australia.
At Pacific Harbour, Bribie Island, the beach is part of your life. Secure your large home site from under $290,000. Just 50 minutes from Brisbane Airport by bridge. Visit bribiebeach.com.au.
This Saturday with Sportsbet at 3 tracks for races 1 to 6. Finish 2nd or 3rd and get up to $50 back in bonus bets.
BSI! So be as responsibly with Sportsbet. We'll be watching.
Ready for any challenge. Battery power, made by Still. Only from your local Still dealer.
Grown under the Australian sun by 4th generation apple growers, Modi apples. Juicy, crunchy and deliciously sweet. Packed with natural goodness to help keep you healthy. From our family to yours, Modi apples. Every bite a masterpiece.
This Saturday with Sportsbet at 3 tracks for races 1 to 6. Finish 2nd or 3rd and get up to $50 back in bonus bets.
BSI! So be as responsibly with Sportsbet. We'll be watching.
The US President and Vice President have been cleared of COVID-19 after a White House staff member tested positive. US correspondent Paul Kadak has more from New York.
Good afternoon. A scare for Donald Trump with the first confirmed case of coronavirus from someone who works inside the West Wing of the White House. It was a US Navy member who serves as a personal valet to the president. He turned up for work yesterday showing symptoms. A test confirmed he had COVID-19. Donald Trump and Vice President Mike Pence were themselves tested soon after and both found to still be negative. But it certainly has caused some alarm within the White House. Donald Trump said to have been upset at hearing about the diagnosis. Now, valets bring food and drinks to the president, carry out other personal tasks. They're in close contact with him, the vice president, the first family, and they're in and out of the Oval Office and the residence fairly regularly. And as we now know, you can be contagious with COVID before you show symptoms.
But I've had very little personal contact with this gentleman. Know who he is, good person, but I've had very little contact. Mike has had very little contact with him. But Mike was tested and I was tested. We were both tested. Yeah, it's a little bit strange, but it's one of those things. But I've always said testing is somewhat overrated because what happens after somebody takes a test? What's going on there?
Now, instead of every week, White House staff will, like the president, be tested every day. The bad news for the president and the whole country continues on the economic front today, with another 3 million people filing for unemployment last week, which means 33.5 million Americans have now lost their jobs because of the pandemic. From New York, it's back to you.
Donald Trump's former National Security Advisor Mike Flynn has had criminal charges against him dropped. Flynn had previously pleaded guilty to lying in an FBI interview about conversations he'd had with the Russian ambassador over US election interference. Justice officials dismissed the charges, ruling the interview was conducted illegitimately. The Duchess of Cambridge has given a rare television interview opening up about life in isolation. Kate was promoting a new national photographic project to document life during the pandemic.
A rare interview with a royal.
We are delighted to be joined by Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Cambridge.
A candid Kate on morning television in the UK, opening up about life in lockdown.
It is difficult. It's hard to explain to, a 5 and a 6, nearly 7-year-old what's going on.
The Duchess promoting a photography project with the National Portrait Gallery called Hold Still, a snapshot of the UK during the coronavirus pandemic.
Being able to showcase portraits, I suppose, and to try and collate a portrait of the nation at this difficult time, I think is what really, I suppose, inspired me, is to try and connect everybody on a human level and share our experiences.
The avid amateur photographer is inviting people to capture a portrait, already selecting some extraordinary moments. British hero Colonel Tom, who's raised millions for the health service by walking laps of his garden, and an intensive care nurse covered in red scars from wearing PPE.
It's really harrowing image, actually, and it's some of the images that, is so important to really document at this time, because they're the things that not everybody at home is going to witness.
The mother of 3 also revealing the story behind her own birthday portraits of Prince Louis.
I should have taken a photograph of what I look like after that as well. I look like Louis at the end of this.
In London, Hugh Whitfield, 7 News.
Residents at a Tweed Heads retirement village have danced on their balconies as a salute to our brave healthcare workers. Dozens of seniors from the Serene Living Complex moved their bodies to some of their favourite tunes.
It's great to see all your friends and that we don't see much of at the moment.
The residents had so much fun, they may even make dance classes a permanent fixture. If you're on the Gold Coast, the chase is up next. Then join me for your local 7 Gold Coast news at 5:30. For the rest of Queensland, Europe begins to roll back restrictions. So when will international travel be back on the cards? Plus, why the government's early access to Super Scheme has been temporarily suspended. And a young Toowoomba girl's very own Carnival of Flowers.
On 7 News, the biggest announcement yet for the road out of COVID, the PM's plan for the weeks ahead. What it means for work, pubs, clubs, restaurants, local sport and live music. Big retailers and even dog parks reopening. And a rush for Mother's Day flowers and gifts, why you need to get in quick. 7 News at 6.
Next week, look who lands in the Bay.
Darkness is coming.
He brings trouble.
Here's your brother.
I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here too.
Is his past catching up with him?
Tane's caught up in her life when it landed me in jail and my brother did.
I'll land on my feet as always.
You're seeing him anyway.
Actually, I'm not seeing him. Not that that's any of your business.
Maybe I'll see you around, yeah?
Yeah, maybe.
Home and Away, next week on 7.
At Allianz, we're offering a range of practical support measures for our current eligible small business customers experiencing financial hardship due to the COVID-19 pandemic, like premium payment deferrals for up to 6 months on eligible policies. And if your business premises are unoccupied because of COVID-19, we'll maintain your cover. We're committed to supporting your business now and into the future, because our support doesn't stop here. Search Allianz or contact your broker to see if you qualify.
Call Stratco now about our non-contact design and quoting solutions. Get 72 months interest-free on patio, sheds and outdoor blinds and pay absolutely nothing for the first 12 months. T's and C's apply. So, you bring the dream, Stratco will bring the how-to.
Having a home to feel safe in has never felt more important. And with home loan know-how from your local Rams home loan specialist, we can help you feel supported wherever you are on your home buying journey. At Rams, whether you're starting out or refinancing, we're here for you every step of the way. Rams, greater together.
With McDelivery, Macca's comes to you contact-free. Get free delivery every weekend on Macca's orders $25 or more via the Uber Eats app. Visit Macca's social pages for this weekend's promo code.
This is 7 News with Amanda Abate.
To today's top stories now, and cafes, restaurants, shops, libraries and boot camps will be some of the first businesses to reopen under the Prime Minister's three-step plan out of coronavirus lockdowns. 3 Queensland Rugby League players, including controversial anti-vaxxer Bryce Cartwright, have been stood down by the NRL for refusing a flu shot. And the doors to 5 of Myer's Queensland stores have reopened, with retailers enjoying a spending boost ahead of Mother's Day this weekend. We have bombshell developments at the inquiry into the Ruby Princess cruise ship fiasco. For the first time, Carnival Australia has admitted giving wrong information to authorities trying to access the extent of the coronavirus infection on board. Robert Abate has been following the story.
Well, much of the inquiry today was dedicated to the interpretation of the term suspected COVID-19 cases, how well that was conveyed from Carnival Australia to authorities versus how well authorities interpreted what was conveyed as Ruby Princess approached landfall on March 18 and 19. Now, Carnival's lawyers pointed to an email on March 18, a day before docking, advising 15 samples taken for possible COVID-19 were being sent to a New South Wales laboratory. Ports Authority employee Cameron Butcher testified he was aware of a new policy once a pandemic had been declared. Carnival also pointed to 2 patients who were expedited off the ship as soon as it docked at 2:30 a.m, advising they could be infectious, the suggestion being it was transparent about the number of sick on board. Equally, there is evidence from another Ports Authority employee who suggested Carnival lied before it embarked on that ill-fated trip on March 8, when it suggested at that time there had been no illness on board when it came into port that day. The inquiry's counsel assisting Richard Beasley SC started the day with an extraordinary attack on the Australian newspaper after an opinion piece suggesting the inquiry is nothing more than a sham to protect the government.
He said epidemiologist Kellyanne Ressler's grilling was necessary to get to the heart of the decision-making process. The government ministers have no role to play and confirmed it had sent a letter to the Australian asking why it should not be held in contempt of proceedings for undermining its integrity.
A Brisbane-based company that converts shipping containers into portable intensive care rooms could soon be selling them to hospitals around Australia and overseas. Construct is already receiving orders for the pressurised rooms that keep out germs like COVID-19. Fully equipped, they're each worth $150,000.
We saw some shocking images from overseas and we really felt it was a Team Australia moment and we wanted to do our bit.
The company is offering to donate 10 container rooms in case there is a second wave of coronavirus cases. 4.5 million Italians have returned to the streets after the government relaxed its coronavirus lockdown. Major tourist landmarks have been left empty with fears tourists won't return until 2021. Europe correspondent Sarah Greenhalgh is in Rome.
As of this week, Italy is in phase 2 with restrictions slowly being eased, but the streets of Rome both look and feel very different to how they used to be. Alice Adams is an Australian who has been living and working here for the past 15 years. She is a cook, a food stylist and runs Italian cooking classes for international tourists. She says there is no doubt the lockdown here has been incredibly tough in a country where the virus has hit so hard. But initially, at the start of the pandemic, she was thinking about her loved ones back home.
When the curve just sort of went, I felt a lot of relief because my sister's a nurse and she drives an ambulance. And so the idea of her being caught up in the front line was really actually worrying me. That was giving me actually probably more anxiety than anything going on here.
4.5 million Italians returned to work this week, but there's still very few people out and about. There are so many shops that remain closed and there's certainly no tourists. 95% of the country's hotels are still closed. The industry is liaising with health authorities about how to make them safe for both staff and guests.
We are going to have a very safe hotels. We are losing 95% of the income. That's the reason that we want to start again, we want to open again as soon as possible.
Tourism bosses are very hopeful, quite optimistic that domestic travellers could return to tourist hotspots this European summer, but it is going to be a long time before international visitors, including Australians, can return.
The government's early access to super scheme has been temporarily suspended because of fraudulent claims. The AFP fears up to 150 people have lost $120,000 all up due to identity theft. The police commissioner believes the sophisticated breach could be linked to crime groups or international syndicates. The super scheme has been paused while police complete their investigation. Finance now with James Tao at CommSec. James, how did our share market round out the week?
Yeah, very good afternoon to you, Amanda. It was a good finish to the week for local shares, snapping 2 days of losses previously. The ASX 200 today up around 27 points or 0.5%, also closing higher for the week. That now makes it 6 of the last 7 weeks where we've seen weekly improvements, even in the face of the economic uncertainties caused by the spread of coronavirus. So today what we saw were rather broad-based gains. Our financials and also materials really helped push the market higher. Fortescue Metals today up more than 5%. Macquarie Group, the investment bank, also lifting around 5% after releasing its full-year profit results this morning. The Aussie dollar also firming, buying around 65.3 US cents, Amanda.
Thank you, James. With uncertainty surrounding Toowoomba's Carnival of Flowers, one neighbourhood has held a street party for a worried little girl. The thought of not dressing up as a fairy for the big event in September was upsetting 9-year-old Lucia Smith. So, respecting social distancing, her mum and a support worker put on their own carnival to cheer her up.
What's your favourite thing about the Carnival of Flowers?
Dressing up.
Dressing up.
This is the most beautiful neighbourhood. We're very, very lucky.
Toowoomba Council says a decision on whether the real carnival goes ahead will be made by the 1st of July. Well, Pat will join us with all of the latest sport details next, plus why the JobKeeper program hasn't been as widely taken up as anticipated. And meet the 4-year-old Gold Coast girl who's already a best-selling author.
It's gonna knock you off your feet.
Tiger King shocked the world, but you only heard half the story.
Pair of snitches.
The key players uncensored.
I wish I could have done more, Tim.
Shocking footage exposed. Our burning questions answered.
He was killed.
The exclusive Tiger King. What really went down?
Shh.
Tuesday, 7:30, only on 7.
Is your home bursting at the seams? Time to call Storage King. With stalls everywhere, there's a location just around the corner. Temporary or permanent solutions with no lock-in contracts and contactless move-ins. Call now and let Storage King give you back some space.
Save 20% on your second policy when you buy new, eligible Suncorp home and car insurance together before July 10. Helping you save when you need it most. That's the Suncorp spirit.
What's happening now, Detective?
They're still there. You would have thought they'd moved out by now. Got themselves a little unit somewhere.
Call us today to find out more about a reverse mortgage from Heartland. Heartland Seniors Finance.
If you were injured on the road, get advice before it's too late. Contact Shine Lawyers to access compensation through your superannuation.
Yeah, I've heard Shine can help.
Shine Lawyers, let's right wrong.
Introducing BP Rewards. Now you can earn points with every BP purchase.
BP Rewards.
Use BP points to spend in store.
BP Rewards.
Or get dollars off fuel.
BP Rewards. BP Rewards.
Or you can choose to earn Qantas points.
Now that's what I call BP Rewards.
Totally BP Rewards.
Start earning today. BP Rewards. Your rewards, your way.
As credit to you, here's up to $120 credit from us. Add any selected month-to-month mobile plan with Vodafone and get the credit you deserve over 12 months. Find out more at vodafone.com.au. Ready?
I always thought it was me, that I was the reason all these diets never worked.
This is genuinely not a temporary fix. There's some serious psychology behind it.
It's funny how much smarter I feel like Noom has made me. It's the simple things. Once I understood why I was making those choices, it was easy for me to change those habits, and weight loss came naturally after that.
I've been on Noom for 4 months now. I've lost 27 pounds, and I feel like I got my life back.
Visit Noom.com and lose the weight for good.
You don't give in. You don't give up. It's called Aussie Spirit, and it takes spirit to get through times like these. It's what inspires us to help. Together we'll get through this. Search Toyota, here to help.
The incredible true story. Trying to put a man into space, sir. Of 3 remarkable women who helped make history. Hidden Figures, tonight on 7.
On 7 News, the biggest announcement yet for the road out of COVID, the PM's plan for the weeks ahead. What it means for work, pubs, clubs, restaurants, local sport and live music. Big retailers and even dog parks reopening. And a rush for Mother's Day flowers and gifts, why you need to get in quick. 7 News at 6.
It was meant to be a lifeline for workers and small businesses, but the Morrison government's JobKeeper program hasn't been as widely taken up as anticipated. Small businesses say the rules are too confusing and workers claim too few are eligible. Nick McCallum looks at the problems.
Initially, the Morrison government expected 6 million Australian workers to go on JobKeeper. Turns out just 5 million have applied. Small businesses say they know why. They're cooking for a charity today, but Mike Baker's Carlton restaurant is surviving by selling prepared meals and takeaway drinks. Only 4 of his 10 staff are eligible for JobKeeper, and he found applying so confusing.
Even our accountant isn't clear on it, you know. I don't know what hope they think the small business owners have, you know.
Under the scheme, businesses pay workers, then the government reimburses companies $750 a week per employee. Many simply don't have the cash flow.
At the moment, when many of them are not trading and are not able to trade, this is causing significant issues.
As for the workers, a union survey found more than 2/3 of hospitality employees are ineligible for JobKeeper. And of those who are eligible, only 12% of their bosses applied for it.
The lifeline that was the promise of JobKeeper does not exist.
Publican Ben Foster understands the frustration at the scheme. The rules are always changing.
So we understand why people might have just thought it's too hard.
But the Prime Minister said today the JobKeeper program was only intended as an economic lifeline for business. The fact that fewer people have applied for it, he says, is a good thing.
Well, let's have a quick look at today's sport now. Here's Pat.
Amanda, thank you. Good afternoon. As you heard earlier, it's been another dramatic day for rugby league. The NRL standing down 3 Queensland-based players for refusing the flu shot following talks with the state government. All play for the Titans. They are Bryce Cartwright, Nathan Peets and Brian Kelly.
I've had a discussion with them this morning and they've stood down those 3 players at the moment until we work through what it means.
Peets declined his flu shot on medical grounds but will now soon get the vaccine as soon as possible. The Adelaide Crows face heavy AFL sanctions for breaching quarantine protocols at a training camp in South Australia. 16 players are completing a mandatory 14-day isolation at a Barossa Valley resort, but they were spotted training in groups of 8 at an adjoining golf course. The Crows called it an honest mistake.
We got it wrong. There was no intention for them to be training as a group. Unfortunately, the fact that they were too close meant, it looked like a training session.
The AFL Commission hopes players will be cleared to train in groups of 10 by next week. Some big races around the country tomorrow, and you'll see them right here on 7. Along with Melbourne and Derby Day in Adelaide, 7 will also broadcast the Sydney races for the next 6 Saturdays, including tomorrow's meeting at Randwick.
It was a hard thing to do to get all the racing jurisdictions to come together, but it has happened, so it's a real breakthrough in a way, and to have Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide for the next 2 weeks, and then Brisbane coming in with their carnival.
Brisbane kicks in on May 23. Bruce and the team will start our coverage tomorrow across the screens of 7. Always a great day when we can have a little racing on 7, Amanda.
Yeah, something a bit different. Thank you very much. A Gold Coast kindy kid has spent her time in isolation wisely. The 4-year-old has co-authored a book about coronavirus and it's become a bestseller.
Meet Tara. The preschooler's already a talented artist.
And who's this one? Grandma.
And now, with the help of Mum, a best-selling author.
Mummy made up a story about Rona and the girls helped and added in what they thought was happening.
And so their book, Rona Stole My Fun, was born. It's based on Tara's watercolour paintings. She started creating them when the pandemic began, her curiosity about the virus emerging in her art.
Because she's running away from Rona. These pictures just kept being generated of people and Gran and hide and seek.
The book features the whole family and looks at the crisis through the eyes of a child.
Since Rona came, I like her not. Now we are all on guards.
It explains the importance of staying at home.
We will not let you find our Nan and Pop.
But it's fun, made to entertain, not scare.
Who's that? Rona. Rona. Who's that, Allegra? Rona. Rona.
And it's taken off. The electronic copy is #1 on Amazon, a hard copy weeks away from hitting the shelves.
Thank you, everyone.
On the Gold Coast, Kate Ryan, 7 News.
Very talented young ladies. Bertie will join us with the latest weather forecast next, plus one of our own ties the knot during the pandemic, exchanging vows in the front yard. And who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks?
On 7 News, the biggest announcement yet for the road out of COVID, the PM's plan for the weeks ahead. What it means for work, pubs, clubs, restaurants, local sport and live music. Big retailers and even dog parks reopening. And a rush for Mother's Day flowers and gifts, why you need to get in quick. 7 News at 6.
G'day, Dave Andrews here in the Yorktown traffic chopper. Some delays on the M1 through Slacks Creek, both directions after an earlier crash. The run here on the Bruce Highway not doing too badly this afternoon, heading up through North Lakes and over the Pine River Bridge. That's not looking too bad. And the run on Gympie Road is a little bit slow coming up through Kedron and again here through Castledine. Thousands of kids need your help. Please donate to Kids Helpline so they can respond to the unprecedented increase in demand. Visit kidshelpline.com.au today. Have a great weekend. I'll check the roads again for you Monday.
David, I'm assigning you to the Home Secretary.
Very good, Mum. Pleasure to meet you, Mum.
I'm late for a meeting. She's got an agenda to heighten fear, to seize power.
I don't need you to vote for me, only to protect me.
These plots do not always arise from outside.
She's got you wrapped around her finger. This is a very dangerous politician. There's been an inside man all along.
Looks like the Home Secretary couldn't be in safer hands.
The must-see event, Bodyguard, coming to 7.
For over 40 years, Canning Vale has invested in quality and design, making exclusive luxury homewares attainable. And now you can enjoy premium quality at up to 75% off. With Canning Vale's Luxury for Less sale, make home a sanctuary of warmth and style with generous discounts on the distinctive Canning Vale range, all with 100-day home trial and free returns. Shop online now using code FREE for fast free shipping to your door, up to 75% off for a limited time. CanningVale.com.
At Coles, you can rely on us for your corn chips and for fixing your chipped bumpers. With Coles Comprehensive Car Insurance, you get quality repairs you can trust. Search Coles Car Insurance today.
Not now.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
The first thing I do after waking up to a delicious breakfast of Be Natural cereal is go right back to bed.
Be Natural. Everyday goodness for real people. As credit to you, here's up to $120 credit from us. Add any selected month-to-month mobile plan with Vodafone and get the credit you deserve over 12 months. Find out more at vodafone.com.au. Ready?
Save up to 15% on your first year's premium when you get a new Allianz Comprehensive Car Insurance policy online.
Hey, good to go.
Thanks.
Get that Allianz feeling. Search for a quote today.
Make your home a sanctuary with distinctive luxury homewares up to 75% off with Canning Vale's Luxury for Less sale. Shop online with code FREE for fast free shipping and a 100-day home trial. Limited time only. CanningVale.com.
If you're into fixing your car or 4x4, Online Auto Parts can help you keep it on the road for a hell of a lot less. With over 500,000 happy customers, we've delivered mountains of quality suspension, braking, steering and more, all covered by our 100% fitment guarantee. So when you need car or 4x4 parts at seriously low prices delivered fast, go straight to onlineautoparts.com.au and get the right fit at the right price fast.
To win the chase requires a world of knowledge.
Reykjavik, Iraq, Antarctica, Cape Town, Mexico City.
But with such high stakes, all it takes is one mistake.
The black drongo is a bird species native to which continent? Stop the clock. You flaming drongo?
New The Chase, weekdays at 5 on 7.
This weather report brought to you by Bridgestone's Abate for tyres and car servicing.
Good afternoon, Queensland. You are watching 7 News as we come to you live from the beautiful beaches of Surfers Paradise, and still somewhat quiet as well. Great conditions across the eastern seaboard today. Let's take a look at why. You can see on the satellite here, it shows that high pressure system pretty much settling right above southeast Queensland throughout the day today. We had virtually no wind early up. Still the odd isolated little coastal shower passed over the southeast, more so out on the ocean, just grazing the coast. But we do see that cold, vigorous front moving through the southern bight into Victoria, bringing some pretty severe, cool, adverse weather to the southern majors. But for us tomorrow, we're going to see that high pushing further out to the east, and of course with that we'll see the return of some northerly winds before a very severe southerly front moves up on Mother's Day afternoon. So Mother's Day, you want to make the best of it mostly in the morning. So around the nation for tomorrow, we're going to see highs of around 26 degrees for Sydney, 16 the low, 10 to 17 for Canberra, and a few showers also for Melbourne, 15 degrees, mostly sunny for over in Perth, 8 to 20. Back to the tropics now. We're going to have a partly cloudy day for Cairns with with a chance of a shower just grazing up there, 29 degrees. Mostly sunny for Townsville, 20 to 29, 26 for Mackay, and a shower clear for Mount Isa. Further south, a dry day for the Capricornia, Wide Bay, Burnett regions. Tops of 25 for Bundaberg, also Harvey Bay. On the range at Toowoomba, 13 to 23, plenty of sunshine. Back home now, a great day to start the weekend. Dry, tops of 26 to 27 degrees across the coast, warming up to 28 and Ipswich. And Amanda, I'll see you at 6 with more Mother's Day forecast.
Okay, thank you, Bertie. Well, let's check in on what's coming up in the news at 6 now. And Sharon, life is about to change.
Yes, tonight a complete guide, Amanda, as the Prime Minister reveals the road out of lockdown. We'll tell you when you'll be able to return to cafes, restaurants and pubs, along with beauty salons, parks and so much more. Plus, when Brisbane residents will be allowed to head to the beach and go on holiday. All the details tonight at 6.
And also, while the city's been empty, Queen's Wharf has powered ahead.
Yeah, this development is going to provide employment for Brisbane for years to come. It's taken a big leap forward and we'll show you that tonight.
And tonight marks a very important milestone.
Yes, it's 75 years since World War II ended in Europe. It couldn't be commemorated in the normal way for obvious reasons, so tonight we'll look at how diggers marked the day. All that and more, Amanda, at 6.
Okay, thanks very much, Sharon. And 7 News would like to congratulate one of our cameramen, Nick Carrigan, who today married his fiancée, Vivian. The pair had to cancel their destination wedding in Colombia due to coronavirus travel restrictions, of course, but today that was far from the happy couple's minds.
You know, you can kiss the bride.
The newlyweds married in Nick's mum's front yard with extended family tuning into the nuptials via Zoom. They also had the help of a very special four-legged ring bearer. Congratulations. Now let's check in on social media, and a black bear at a US zoo has shown the online world how to make the most of life in lockdown. Oregon Zoo shared this video of 10-year-old Takoa. Well, not this vision, clearly. Hopefully we'll see Takoa soon. No, we won't. Well, an eagle-eyed social media user has noticed what looks like the coronavirus cell on Australia's new $20 note. The note was designed and released before the pandemic. The image actually represents the boxleaf wattle found in eastern parts of Australia. And under the caption, "Something to make you smile," this video has appeared online showing a young man and a dog, possibly his best friend, doing what they love, skateboarding. The dog has his own board and manages to keep up with his master quite well. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. That's Queensland's 4 p.m. news for this Friday. Stay with us now for The Chase and then 7 News at 6. I'm Amanda Abate. Have a great weekend.